Have you ever thought about sex in space? And I don't mean us sex in space, I mean sex in space. It's something that no one has ever done, yet. The big issue is gravity, because when there isn't any, you bounce off each other. Also, sex in any environment that lacks gravity means fluids pooling and floating around the cabin. Lordy. But despite the difficulty, researchers are worried about it. This research paper from Cranfield University in the UK discusses the risks that could come with uncontrolled human conception as space tourism grows. So apparently in the next 10 years there's going to be an increase in what's called orbital space tourism, and flights will last up to weeks at a time, and presumably cabins will offer gravity-like conditions. Once these are in place, it's not likely that every single person who travels in one of these will abstain from sexual activity, because while everyone really wants to have sex in space, it gets over 1 billion search hits. And keen to capitalize on this high level of interest, Pornhub even tried to raise money to film a video in space. Sadly, they failed to raise the $4.6 million needed to make this happen. Now, technically, it's not the sex in space that has researchers worried, it's the possibility of conception. This is because at the moment, we don't have a very good idea of how conditions in space, things like microgravity and radiation exposure, can impact human reproduction. It's possible that microgravity could impact fertility and fetal development, and being in space is just not the most ideal place to receive care for pregnancy. People who travel in space are also exposed to some high levels of ionizing radiation, which can cause damage to human cells and DNA. This could then cause genetic disorders or birth defects in a baby conceived in space. Now, there have been some studies done on reproduction in space using amphibians, invertebrates, and insects. Let us know if you want more on this. But so far, there's been none done with mammals. So what do you think? Are you keen to have sex in space? And if you like our videos, before you go, hit that follow button so we can keep taking you on new and ever more interesting sex in space journey.